Hi everyone. Today we're going to be talking about getting things done. Well, hi everyone. Thank you for joining me today. I'm Crystal from A Crystal Clear Life, where we focus on planning, organizing, and living a more simplified life. I'm so happy that you joined me today. Today we're going to be talking about getting things done. It's a book by David Allen. Now, I don't have a hard copy to show you because I listened to it on Audible. I've also listened to a number of his podcasts and interviews with other folks. He's a very entertaining man, and I enjoy listening to him. So if you have time, check it out on Audible or pick up the book to read. Getting things done, according to David Allen, is all about outcome and action thinking. What's the outcome that you're looking for? And what are the action steps that will get you to the place that you need to be to achieve that? It's that simple. Now, he talks about being very flexible. He also talks about making it fit to your individual needs. Although a lot of people, I think, get very wrapped up in following all the steps and all the procedures, and sometimes they get lost in the whole process. So what I wanted to do today is kind of give you an overview and help you understand the process a little bit more. So one of the other things that David Allen talks about is putting in place processes or steps or strategies for clarity so that your mind can be clear and free, and you can then be present for what you are doing at that current moment. It also is giving yourself control over what you need to do and focus so that you're not distracted by all these other things that might be in your mind. You've written them down someplace. You know that they're in a trusted place, and you'll get to them when you have the right time or when it's the right opportunity. So in essence, you're planning for freedom. You're planning to get things done so that you have more free time to do the things that you really enjoy doing. And if you've ever heard David Allen speak, you have heard him say that your head can only hold 4 things at one time. This is based on neuroscience, and that your head is a crappy office. Well, the older I get, the crappier my head becomes. So I would agree with that wholeheartedly. So the first step is capturing. And the object of capturing is getting all of that information that's in your head or on your mind into one place. And so he talks about having an inbox, either a physical inbox or a digital inbox, where you can keep all of that stuff so that it's not in your head. That helps give you some clarity and some freedom. Step 2 is to clarify, is to figure out the next action for each item. Is it actionable? And if so, what are you going to do about it? Step 3 is to take those actionable items, things that need to have things done to them, and organize them, put them where they need to go. Actually, that also goes for the non-actionable items, because there's a place for those things too. Once you've organized everything, you need to set up some kind of schedule to reflect or review. Now, some people like to do this daily, some people like to do this weekly, and some people like to do a monthly review as well, so that they're making sure they're touching everything. And step 5 is to engage. Now, if you're a Star Trek fan like me, that means make it so. That means do it now. That means get on with it. So to engage means to work daily on the tasks that you've set aside and check on items to make sure that you're doing what you need to do to move those projects along, to move those actions along, to get things checked off your list. I want to give you a good concrete example of what this getting things done method really looks like. So I just happened to be going down to the mailbox and I thought, you know what? This is a perfect metaphor. I'm going to use the mail as a metaphor. Now, it's already been captured. Step 1 is to capture. Somebody else has already done that for me with the mail. The people at the post office and my mail carrier have already captured everything in one place. And here it is. Now, my mailbox is not right outside my door. I live in a rural location, so I have to go about a half a mile down to my mailbox. So I don't always pick up my mail every day, and sometimes after a couple of days, things accumulate. Well, this is a prime example because if I can't hold more than 4 things in my hands, how am I expected to hold more than 4 things in my head? So let's dig into it and see what this is all about. So we've already done step 1 to capture. Now, step 2 is to clarify. And remember, in step 2, you're asking one simple question, one decision that you have to make. The question is this actionable? Meaning, do I have to do something with it, or is it not actionable? So here's a little cheat sheet to help us remember. If something is actionable, if we need to do something with it, there are a couple things that we're going to have to do. We're going to either defer it, which means put it on your calendar or schedule it for later. We're going to do it if it takes less than 2 minutes. David Allen uses the 2-minute rule. If it only takes 2 minutes to do something, go ahead and get it done, because it will probably take you longer than that to schedule it for later. So do it is one of the options that we have for things that are actionable. If it's a big something, meaning it takes more than 2 action items, you're going to turn that into a project. Be very granular and turn it into a project. The last thing that you might do with some of these things is to delegate it. That's my favorite. Okay, so that's yes, if things need to have something done to them. Now the other option is it actionable? No, I don't need to take any action on this information. In that case, I have a few choices as well. I can trash it, put it right in that recycling bin. I can add it to a someday maybe list, which means I'll get to it someday. It's a good thought that I don't want to lose, or I might need to look that information up later, but I don't need to do anything with it right now. And last but not least, a reference item. Maybe it's something I'll need in the future, but I don't need it right now. Okay, so this is going to be my no box. And this one is going to be my yes box. Now, I think this is pretty interesting because when I was a kid growing up, I always remember these 2 boxes sitting on my dad's desk. And he had an inbox and an outbox. So I think it's pretty cool that I get to use those today. Okay, so here's that whole captured amount of stuff in my inbox. Now let's see if they're actionable, we're going to put them here. If they're not actionable, we're going to put them over here. Okay? All right, so let's start seeing what's in the mail. All right, so here's a postcard mailer for a company that I have no interest in, so that's a no. Here's a free shipping coupon. Don't need that. Ooh, this looks interesting. Hand addressed from someone I know. I think this is something that I ordered and I've been waiting for. That's definitely actionable. I'm putting that in the yes pile. Here's a bill that came, so that's definitely a yes. I have to do something with that. This whole collection of things are ads for the local grocery stores. I don't need to do anything with those. Ooh, here's a second card, handwritten card. This is a banner day for the mail. That's definitely actionable. This happens to be an envelope from the college that my daughter graduated from, and it's addressed to her, so I know I'm not going to open it, but it might need some action, so I'm going to put it in the actionable yes box, and I'll make myself a note on the list of things to talk to her about to see if she wants me to open it, because it might be something important. All right, so this is a catalog from a company that, you know, they have some cute stocking stuffers and that kind of thing, stationery kinds of things. I might want to order from this catalog, but I don't need to worry about that right now. So I'm going to say no, that's not actionable right now. Same with my BJ's ad. Don't plan on going to BJ's anytime soon. Joann's, definitely not. Trying not to spend anything on fabric. Furniture store, nope, definitely don't need that. Costco, probably not. This is my credit card bill. That's a definite yes, so that goes in this. And then this is a magazine, again from my daughter's alma mater. And she may want to look at that, but I don't have to do anything with it. I'll just put it over here in the no pile. And then this is our Parks and Rec guide. It's very big this year. That's no, I don't need to do anything with that right now. Okay, so when you take a look in my boxes, you see that the things that I actually have to deal with is a small amount, and the things that I don't actually have to deal with is a much larger amount. All right, so that's step 2, to clarify. Moving on to step 3. Step 3 is called organize. That means that you may need to put something on your calendar or your future log to take care of sometime in the future. You might need to put it on your next action list. In that case, you want to be very specific with your context, where you are, the place that you are, the time that you are, and what you need to have with you to get that done. You might want to create a project plan for something, and we'll talk more about that when we get to the computer. Sometimes you might even want to have a waiting on list for those things that you've delegated, and you need to check back to see if that person has finished that task. You can also add a couple of lists that aren't necessarily in David Allen's book, but they're very helpful. You might need a list of things to buy or errands to run. You can come up with all kinds of lists to suit your own needs. That's part of the flexibility of getting things done. You may also want to come up with a someday maybe list, which is a place to store good ideas or things that you're dreaming or really are thinking about doing, but you just don't have to do them right now, or they need to sit and fester a little bit so that you can get a better plan. Or you might have reference items. So let's take a look at our boxes and see how we're going to organize this information. I always like to start with the things that are actionable because to me they're the most important. So I said to you that I had a couple of bills in here, so I have my two bills here, and I'm going to put those on the side. I have a drawer in my kitchen desk drawer that I keep all of my bills in, and when I go to pay my bills, it's already scheduled on my calendar to on the 28th of every month actually, because my bills are usually due around the 1st to the 5th. So I do it on the 28th. That gives the bank time to process everything. So these bills will go in that drawer so that I'll know exactly where they are when the 28th comes up. I'm also going to put in that drawer this envelope for my daughter from her school. And when I get over to the computer, I'm going to add this to the list that I keep for things to talk about with her. She currently does not live with us. She's in graduate school in England. And so I only get to video chat with her now and then. And so I like to keep a list of things so I don't forget all the important things that I need to talk to her about. All right, so this one is a handwritten card, and I see that it is from one of my former Girl Scouts. Now remember the 2-minute rule. If it's going to take less than 2 minutes to do something, go ahead and do it now. Well, that's exciting, so let's open this up and see what it is. This is a sweet thank you note for a baby gift that I sent to one of my former Girl Scouts, who is the first, I think, in the group to have a baby. She and her husband welcomed their beautiful daughter, so that's just so exciting. I made her a quilt, and I'm just so happy that she was able to get it, and she really likes it, so that's good. Okay, the last thing in my actionable items is this really cool brown envelope. I told you I ordered something and I've been waiting for it, so let's see what that is. Somebody's getting ready for Halloween. A friend of mine turned me on to these Color Street nails. Now, I'm not usually somebody who's very girly or anything like that, but I tell you what, they really work great. They're regular nail polish, and you press them on, and then you use regular nail polish remover to take them off. I have had these same nails on for the last 2.5 weeks, and I've never had a manicure last that long unless it was one of those really scary, dangerous kinds of, that have all kinds of chemicals in them. I'm not into that. And I don't wear nail polish all the time, but this was a nice little treat for myself for Halloween. And it's spiders, and I love spiders. Anyway, she also sent this really cute thank you card. They do such a great job. Anyway, so less than 2 minutes, and that task is done. So where do these need to go? They need to go upstairs in my bathroom, so they'll be ready to use when I'm ready to do that. Let's take a look at the non-actionable items. All right, so we have our guide with COVID. I'm not interested in being around people in a class, so that's going in the trash can. The magazine from my daughter's school. I might look at that at some point, but I definitely will save it for her. So I probably will put it up in her room with the envelope. So I'm going to move that over here so it can go with her envelope. The Costco ad and the BJ's ad and the current ad, all of these little catalogs that I might want to look at. Now, they're kind of fun to look at. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay these next to my side table where I sit and have my coffee in the morning, and I'll look through one each morning and then probably trash it because I'm really trying not to spend a lot of money. I just don't need anything. So that's where they will go. Furniture, trash. Joann's, trash. Free shipping, trash. Company I'm not interested in, trash. The only grocery store that I've been shopping at lately is Aldi's, so I'll hold the Aldi's ad out. Again, if it takes less than 2 minutes, if I wasn't filming, I would sit here and look, and I would say, you know, what do they have on sale that I want to pick up? Well, they have pumpkin cinnamon rolls. So to help me remember, I will say, Alexa, please add pumpkin cinnamon rolls to my Aldi's list.
Pumpkin cinnamon rolls added to Aldi's.
Okay, done. That's ready to go in the trash.
I don't know that.
All right, so that's the end of step 3, to organize things. Now you see my non-actionable items basket is empty, and all I need to do is get up and walk these things to where they need to go. Okay, I'm back. Both of my boxes are empty. Now, a lot of people talk about having a digital inbox, which is something that I do. I keep a digital inbox. But I also find that I need to have a physical inbox as well. For things like the bills, I tend to use this drawer in my kitchen where I put that physical stuff that's coming in. And then I also have a spot at the end of the counter in the kitchen right by the door and my purse that's for outgoing things. So if I put together a package that needs mailing or cards that need to be mailed, I put it in my drop spot so that it is ready to go when I'm leaving the house. I can just pick it up, take it with me, and drop it off where it needs to be on my way out the door. Step 4 is to reflect and review. Some people like to do that at the end of every day. Let me see what I've accomplished today. Let me go ahead and plan my day for the next day. Let me look at, well, let's say if I'm doing a project and I made one phone call, I can go back to that project plan, check off that phone call, find out what's next, and add that to my list for tomorrow. So doing those little steps to move things along. You might also look at your calendar for tomorrow to see what that hard landscape is. What appointments do you have to keep tomorrow? That shows you the flexibility to have time to do other things that you may want or need to do. So really the daily review could be as simple as looking at your calendar and your to-do list. Your weekly review, you might want to include projects as well. And then if you do a big monthly review, you may even want to go back and look at your someday maybe list or your books to read list or your travel plans list, something like that, just to get a very good overview of everything that you want to keep in mind or keep out of your mind as you're going into the next month. So reflect and review is a very important part. And actually they say most people who fall short of using the GTD method is because they don't have a good stable review process. So try to set up a good review and reflection process, because I think it really will help. I know it's helped me. Of course, the last thing, step 5, is to engage. And engage means that every day you're looking at your calendar, your date-specific things. You're looking at your next item things to figure out what you might want to get done in that day. You're checking on your waiting for items to see if the person has finished with the delegated tasks that you gave them. And you also might be looking at your projects to see what's the next little baby step that I can do to move this project forward. Remember, this whole process is talking about outcomes and actions. What are your goals? What are your outcomes? What do you want to accomplish? And then what are those little baby steps that are going to lead you forward to achieving that goal, to getting to that outcome? It's that simple, really. Well, I want to thank you for joining me today. I really hope that you've understood the core concept of getting things done. It seems like a pretty complex thing, but it really is not meant to be that way. Again, it's meant to free up time so that you have the presence of mind, the clarity of mind to be present with your family or your task or whatever it is that you might be working on at that time. Rather than always worrying about, do I need to buy cat food? Have I called my mom? Did I send that birthday card to my sister? Instead of those things nagging at your brain, if you get them out of your brain, write them down, schedule them for the appropriate time, and check them off as they come up, then your mind is clear so that you can focus on more important things. And really, the Getting Things Done method has been very helpful for me over the past probably year since I learned about it. And I'm just happy that I could bring it to you today. So if you've learned anything today, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. A like really is the best compliment that you can leave me. If you have any questions about getting things done or the GTD method or how I have implemented it in OneNote, please leave me a comment below. I'd be happy to answer your questions or share any resources that I have with you. That would be awesome. Think about subscribing too if you'd like to learn more about what we do here at A Crystal Clear Life. With all the analytics and algorithms of YouTube, the more likes and the more subscriptions that I get helps YouTube know that the content that I'm providing is really something that people like. So please think about hitting that subscribe button in addition to that like button. And until next time, okay, bye.